Hi, welcome to Astrobabble. I'm Donna from Donna B Astrology.
And I'm Lynda from Scullywag Astrology.
Today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Capricorn and the aspects for that fortnight.
Mm-hmm. You really like that word, don't you?
You like that word?
I know most
New
North
word I get to
Americans don't
use.
use it. Us Australians,
Most
Canadians,
Americans
and
don't
that.
use it.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, shall we have a look at the chart?
That's great. And as you're pulling that up, I can talk about the moon mansion.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 22nd moon mansion, and it is good for healing, journeying in the first half of the day, associations, and this one you can is good for clothing. So, go out and buy clothes, put on new clothes, and should be okay. It is
Nice.
not good if you become a widow on today. It's not good to become a widow on any day.
Mm-hmm.
But chances are you will remain unmarried, and it's not good for buying slaves either. And I think it has a lot to do with, it has the nature of Mars and Venus, this mansion. So I think it's got that dynamic. It's that dynamic couple that's in the celestial bodies, and it does, the key word, one of them is sacrifice. So I think it's actually sacrifice, like getting rid of sacrifice, kind of. The phrase that goes with it is the lucky one of the slaughterers.
Oh my.
That's what kind of gave me that, you know, bring it down a notch, that doom and gloom of, yeah, that kind of sacrifice.
So, what did you say? It's similar to Venus, and what was the other planet?
Venus and Mars.
Hence the slaughterer.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Wow.
thinking that's the whole vibe of it.
Very interesting. I was thinking a lot of
It
those
is.
things were kind of very Saturnian like, because I mean, this is Capricorn, so it's ruled by Saturn.
Yeah.
Like things like, if you become a widow, you may remain single and that. But yeah, I really like that thing about buying clothes. And with this new moon, we have Venus. It's not super close, but it's co-present with the new moon. So that's nice. Can't see Mars though. But we're going to get a little flavor of Mars anyway with it from the sounds of it.
We are, because today is the 12th, and to the day that we're taping, yeah.
Mm, mm.
And today is the day that it starts the shadow period of the Mercury retrograde we're about to have.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. We did a video on Mercury retrograde and we went through a lot of detail, the mechanics of it. We explained the retrograde shadow period and went through, said, what you could expect depending on wherever Mercury was retrograding, which house in your natal chart. So we'll put a link to that in here because that's a really informative video and really good to give you a really broad overview. But if you just want to know, say, for example, okay, well, this Mercury is going to be happening in my 7th house, it's also got segments, so you can jump right to that segment as well.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so it pays to be aware, because whatever you're going through right now, you have a very good chance of repeating it.
Yeah. With the shadow period, it's passing the degree that it's going to retrograde back to once it starts its retrograde phase. And yeah, things can start going skew with already. In fact, I know my daughter, she has just received 2 lounges. She ordered one, cancelled it, ordered another one, and now she's got 2.
Okay, now what is a lounge?
Oh, like a sofa.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
You don't call them lounges over there, apparently.
No, they're couches or
Mm.
sofas, or Davenports would be an old word. But
Yeah.
no.
Well, see, now you're
A
learning a bit of
lounge to us is
Australian.
usually a room that we go to,
Yeah,
or
well,
something that you do. You could lounge,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, she's bought a sofa. So now she's got 2 of them. So now the
Oh,
fun begins trying to send one back.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. Well,
So,
at least she ordered it before Mercury, so hopefully she won't have a big deal with it. But yeah,
yeah, hopefully not.
are there any other aspects?
I'm just
Oh,
having a
this is
look.
going to be squaring
Ah,
Jupiter.
no. Oh, yes, it will be squaring Jupiter. Interesting. And that Jupiter is in the
Oh,
Mars ruled sign of Aries. So there's another little bit of that Mars squeezing in, even though retrograde Mars currently can't see that moon. And Saturn, the ruler of this
it
moon,
is. It
also
is
can't
sneaking
see it.
in.
Yeah, that Mars is being very sneaky. But yeah, the ruler of this new moon, though, can't see the new moon because it's in the sign next to it, Aquarius. And that's like it's kind of like in its blind spot. It can't see it. We say it's in aversion. So,
So both malefics will be in aversion for this new moon, which is it kind of gives you that hope that you could just like, have a free ride of, not having malefics
yeah,
impact your new ideas or new projects. It's kind of nice.
yeah. I'm curious though, because I mean, I know it's good not to have the malefics able to kind of interfere, but the fact that Saturn is the ruler, I would have liked to have seen like a sextile or a trine with that. So yeah, but yeah, that square to Jupiter. I wonder if we're just going to be too enthusiastic and have all these grand plans and ideas and
Right, without any structure or action behind it.
yeah, yeah, good point. That actually that fits brilliantly. So when maybe when Mars when does Mars station direct? I think it's the 12th of January. Maybe we're going to have a full moon before that, but who knows? It'll be interesting to see. So maybe a good time to plan and strategize. But if it doesn't come, and see, this is it. Saturn's really good at kind of the long haul. So, you know, maybe it's not going to happen immediately, but, you've got to be persistent and resilient and just keep on keeping on regardless of those limitations and obstacles.
Yeah.
Mm, sounds good.
And it's nice that this is, it's Capricorn, it's a cardinal sign. It's that sign that starts things and it's got that motivation. Jupiter could help it out. It might be pulling in some of that Mars action and drive.
Mm. Yeah, I suppose
So it could
so.
give you a little bit.
Mm. Well, like you say, squares do usually cause action. And I mean, sometimes, you got to be made uncomfortable before you actually do something. I mean, trines and sextiles are lovely, but you can become a little bit lazy with them, I think, because it all comes too easy. Squares and oppositions can actually make you uncomfortable, so you actually need to take some action. But yeah, so I suppose we're funneling the Mars through that Jupiter. And I mean, we have Venus, Mercury, and Pluto co-present with this new moon. So yeah, 5 planets or 3 planets and 2 luminaries all in Capricorn at the new moon just before Christmas.
I was gonna just thinking that it's a kind of a chill kind of day before Christmas. It could be shocking with the trine to Uranus
Yeah, that
kind of playing in there.
hmm, I kind of think, Capricorn, I see this as conservative. It's kind of like the family traditions. It's getting together with all the family, the extended generations. It doesn't need to be a Christmas celebration. It might be, some other holiday tradition or just,
Well, this new moon kind of brings in it brings in the new solstice.
yes, actually, yes. We spoke about that in the last video about how the cardinal signs. So
Yeah.
Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra, they're all synced to the solstices and the equinoxes. And this is the winter solstice up in the northern hemisphere 2 days before this new moon. And yeah, we will have just had our summer solstice down here.
right?
Hmm.
So new a good time to start new things.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, time to start a new tradition. Maybe there's new generation coming up and, instead of having it at mum's house, it's at your house this year or yeah. Well, it depends where it is in your chart too, of course.
Exactly.
Or shall we have a look at the horoscopes for all the different
Horoscopes,
signs?
yeah. You'll be
Cool.
interested to see where mine plays out, which
Yeah.
house it will fall in.
And before we go on any further, just going to say a quick note. We recommend that you read or listen to your uh, ascendant sign horoscope rather than your sun or moon. And if you don't understand why that's the case, we've got a video. I'll put a link to that, and that explains it in a bit more detail. So yeah, so first one is Capricorn. You want to take care of that?
I will start it off. Although you really should, because you are the Capricorn.
I am the Capricorn, yes. I'm a
Then go
Capricorn
ahead.
ascendant. Yeah, yeah. Let's yeah, yeah. Let's do me. So if you're a Capricorn ascendant, this is happening in your first house. So new beginnings to do with your appearance, your health, and how others view you or how others see you. We've got Venus there. So this is a good time for like a makeover. This is a great time for new clothing. And I know this time of year, me and my friend, who is a Capricorn sun, which I know it's a little bit different, but we get all like, oh my God, we need to revamp ourselves, blah, blah, blah. So, and it fits in with the astrology. It's quite funny because, around about this time of year, we have the new moon in Capricorn. So, yeah.
It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
But yeah, you might be looking at trying to revamp your health, trying to improve that. With Mercury in there at the same time, there might be a desire to kind of like, improve how, communications with others. But yeah, quite often the first house, it's to do with our appearance, our health and vitality, our personality, basically just how others view us. And if you're a Capricorn, you've already had Pluto go over your ascendant, you're already having Pluto go over your ascendant, or you're going to have Pluto go over your ascendant. So to my fellow Capricorn ascendants, yeah, I know it's hard. It's not that hard, but yeah, it's been a fun few years, hasn't it?
It's doable.
Mhm,
It's doable, but it's transformational.
mhm. Well, we'll see.
And if Sagittarius is your rising sign or ascendant, this is going to be happening in the second house, and this is the house that has to do with your money or what supports you. So the things that you value will be getting a new start. You might have new avenues towards either gaining finances or a new way to handle things or a new structure or something to do with money, whether it might be even something that you're buying that you need for your daily life on what you need to sustain you.
Very good. And if you are a Scorpio ascendant, this full new moon is happening in your third house. And the third house is siblings, our local neighborhood. It is also short courses, it's early education, and it's like short distance travel. It's kind of like, very close to our general area. This could be you're starting something new with sibling, or it could be something to do with a sibling starting out on something new. It might not have anything to do with you. It might be the sibling. It could be, something new and well, not necessarily exciting, but I mean, we do have that trine to Uranus to the Venus, which isn't super close, but that Uranus is trining by sign. So maybe it will be something new and exciting in the neighborhood. Maybe it's catching up with neighbors because it's also neighbors. It's just fun. I mean, it's Capricorn, so it's not super fun. Well, actually, that's unfair. I know a lot of Capricorns, and a lot of them are a lot of fun because, if you're going to break the rules, you need to know what the rules are and exactly where all the loopholes are first. So anyway, but yeah, something new to do with yeah, one of those topics.
It sounds fun. Yeah, I'm still getting yeah. And if Libra is your rising sign or ascendant, this is going to be happening in your fourth house. And this could be new beginnings with your home. You could change homes. This could be a time where you're doing something new to your home. This could also be a time that has new beginnings with your lineage and the places where you come from. So that's what this house is all about, is your ancestors, your homeland.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Maybe kind of redecorating too, with Venus in there as well. So yeah, that would be
Absolutely.
a nice use of it, particularly since this new
Either
moon
either
has
re
that Venus Mars. So you got Venus
Yeah,
with all the style and decorating, and then you got Mars, which is the actual physical having to do it. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Venus is either calling the social or the beautification. So either of those two things.
Yeah. And if you are a Virgo ascendant, this new moon is happening in your fifth house, you lucky thing. So new moons, new beginnings. So this is to do with your children. So it might not have anything to do with you. It could be something new and exciting happening with your children. It could be creative things. It's also socializing, romance. So it could be a new romance on card for some people. Yeah, this is just the fun house. This can be like going out, socializing. It can be gambling. And yeah, this is nice. You've got Venus there, you've got Mercury there, you've got Pluto there. So yeah, this is a lot of fun going on for you. So good for you. Lucky you.
It is. And for the holidays, it's great to have, you might be trying a new way to celebrate, which is really
Mm.
nice. And if Leo is your rising sign, this is going to be happening in your sixth house. And this is the house of either service or your health. So you could, be coming up with new ideas of how to improve your health, which would be a great way to use this energy of starting a new health thing. Hopefully you're not getting a new job right before Christmas. That's always hard to change jobs. It's stressful to do that. So maybe you might be hiring people if you are in that position to hire people.
Yeah,
But
actually,
new things.
yeah, I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say, oh, sorry. When you were talking about the moon mansion earlier, you were saying one of the things was it's good for hiring slaves, which in modern day parlance would be hiring employees.
Right. It's not good though.
Oh,
It's
it's
not
not
good.
good.
That is on the negatives.
Put off hiring
You could
until the
be,
next one. I thought
yeah.
it was good. I remember I just remember the word slaves and I just thought, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but chances are when they were talking about on the negative side of like buying slaves, and because we don't do that anymore, thank goodness. But they would be unruly, or they would eat too much, or talk back, or escape, or whatever. Those are the kinds of things that they would try to do. And I'm thinking with the liberation aspect of this mansion, people that you hire might be wanting, more liberation than what you want. I don't
Well,
know.
it's
But
really
that is an aspect.
it's really interesting though too, because I mean, in the sixth house, and I mean, like, in our we did a horary course, and like if you've got a slave that ran away, this is like way back when, if they're in the sixth house, if I remember correctly, they got away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Not a good time for prison escape, right?
yeah, well, maybe in modern day parlance, it might be, yeah, you have an employee that comes in, uses up all your resources, sleeps on the job, and then quits just before, the big sales start. Because, like, I know over there, your Black Friday are the big sales, and they're starting to do that here now. But traditionally over here, it's what we call Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, that is the big sales. And yeah,
Oh,
so if you had somebody quit on, say, the 23rd, which is the date of the new moon, though it'll probably be the 24th here. Yeah, that would be really bad. So yeah.
yeah. Not a time. Not a. Not the most auspicious time to be.
Employing people.
That's what it
Mm.
looks like.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
But after 2 days, that moon's out of that mansion. So
Yeah, yeah. And if you are a Cancer ascendant, this new moon is happening in your seventh house, which is our closest one-on-one relationships. So this could be a romantic partner, a significant other. It could be a business partner. It could be a really close friend. I mean, friends is also 11th house, but really, really close friends are usually considered seventh house. It's also one-on-one relationships with, if you're somebody who works with clients one-on-one, that would be with clients. If you are scheduling an appointment with somebody one-on-one, then that would kind of refer to that relationship, whether that's a doctor, hairdresser, some sort of counselor, whatever. It's that close one-on-one relationship. So there could be new beginnings regarding any of those things. We do have Venus in there as well, which is quite nice. It is in Capricorn, so she's not going to put up with too much nonsense. She's not demanding, but, she's exacting. She knows what she wants. She knows what she likes, and she knows what she doesn't like too. Got Mercury in there, good thinking, steady, and then Pluto. So, yeah, full on with one-on-one relationships at that time. And new beginnings, new starts. A good time to be planting seeds.
And as you have mentioned before, this sign of Cancer, if you're a Cancer, you're affected by these new moons and full moons more than
I think
more than the rest of the population. So,
yeah. Or
very interesting.
if you are aware of annual perfections, and why not, Lynda? We have a video that we did some annual perfections, showed an example with Elvis Presley. And if you're in a year that's ruled by the sun or the moon, then eclipses and new moons and full moons can also be significant. So it's your
Well,
turn.
Gemini is your rising sign. This is going to be happening in your house of the shared finances and other people's money. So you might be getting news of an inheritance, or a loan might have come through, or heck, while you are enjoying that career that you are in, and you just got a bonus. So yeah, there's a benefic in the house. So I'm not seeing, horrible things happen. This would be great for starting the new shared resources. Any
Mm,
kind of plans you would do with shared resources, or this would also be a good time to, make sure your will is in place and all the
yeah.
paperwork that you have for an adult is, done. This would be a great time to start that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you mentioned earlier that Mercury's has
Shadow
entered
start of the shadow
its,
period.
yeah, and that's today, which is like the 12th over there, the 13th here. Well, maybe it was the 12th when it ended here. I don't know. I haven't had a look. But yeah, so maybe an idea. It's not retrograde yet. This, like Donna said, you got a benefic in there, but that Mercury is in the shadow period, so it doesn't hurt to double check, go over the fine print, make sure you know exactly what you're signing up to if you're signing up for something. If you are a Taurus ascendant, Miss Donna, which you are, you will be having this new moon in the ninth house. So the ninth house is higher education. It's also esoteric subjects like astrology and tarot. It is the law, it's publishing, it's foreigners, it's other cultures, and overseas travel. So this is nice. Maybe you're planning a trip away, or maybe you've just met somebody who's from a different culture or different country to you. With Venus in there, maybe there's a little bit of romance going on. Yeah, if you are planning to travel overseas, yeah, with that Mercury, we're just talking about how, it's actually entered the shadow period. Might be a good idea. Just double check, that date's not clashing with something that Yeah, just double check. Just it never hurts to double check travel plans.
Mm. Especially when Mercury is
Mm-hmm.
starting
Retrograde.
to spin.
Yeah.
Fun. And if Aries is your rising sign, this is going to be happening in your house of career and what you're known for. So you might start a new job. You might start a new project in your job that you currently have. This could also be a new way of how people look at you or how people see you or what you are representing in your, you know, in your community, how you are seen. This would be a new way of how you are seen.
Very nice.
Might be could
Yeah.
be a new kind of recognition
Hmm.
as well. I would think a full moon would be more for that. But you could be starting a project that you will later on get recognized for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Or it could
And with the
even be,
benefic there, you gotta love it.
yeah. Well, I was thinking this might be a time when you're nominated for an award, perhaps. And, there's the nomination process, and maybe, I wouldn't think most awards would take 6 months to finalize, because sometimes what uh, is planted at the new moon in, say, Capricorn might be realized at the full moon in Capricorn, which would be around about, I don't know, July or so. But maybe this is the beginning of a process where you're nominated, because this, like Donna said, is a place of reward and recognition. So yeah, that would be nice.
I like Venus there. I like Venus with this new moon. It ends it lends a nice chill feel to it, I think.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely kind of sweetens it a little bit. Yeah. And if you are a Pisces ascendant, this new moon is happening in your 11th house. And the 11th house is groups, friends, and organizations. This is people that can assist you in your career. This is networking. Yeah, it's a fun house. It's kind of what you do with other people. If the fifth house is, what you do for an enjoyment, the 11th house is what you do with other people for enjoyment. But it's also, because that house is rising towards the 10th, which is your career, it can help you with your career, people that can be helpful in that way. So yeah, you might be joining a new group. Could be romance in a friendship group. Maybe, you catch up with friends and there's somebody new there and sparks fly. Yeah, it's just nice. The 11th house is a nice house. And like Donna said, with
Very
a benefic
nice.
there, that's nice.
On the other hand, if you're an Aquarius rising, this could either it's called an unlucky house, because it is the house of bad spirit, but this could also be, this is new beginnings in your 12th house if you are an Aquarius rising. This could also be the time where you need to take time for yourself and go inwards and plan out your year. And this is a great time to, to do that inner work of, what do I need to do for myself? And how am I going to start this year and what kind of goals do I want to accomplish? And especially with that Saturn will help you do that foundational work that is representative of the 12th house. I think it's a great new moon type energy for that particular kind of investigation and trying to get some clarity. I'm trying to see where Neptune is real fast. Not really aspecting the new moon, which is good.
Mhm.
Um, it is aspecting Mercury though. But it is a house of going inwards. It's also the house of, hospitalizations, going to jail, institutions, those kind of things where you're, locked away or put away. So this might be a new thing that you are doing if you have not been good.
Mhm.
Um, and with if it is jail, and you are being put in jail on this day, with the square to Jupiter, will probably make it bigger
Mm.
for
So,
those people who
so
have
you
court
think
dates coming up.
a longer custodial sentence sort of thing?
A bit longer. Yeah, that's
Mm,
definitely.
mm,
Yeah, because that Jupiter is just newly into the sign, meaning it's
yeah,
screaming, I'm just here. My energy is just new. So
yeah,
I think it would make a longer sentence.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Jupiter does like to expand, and it's ruled by a malefic, and that malefic is still out of bounds and retrograde. So yeah. Well, that's that for the horoscopes. Do you have a stone for us, Donna?
I do. I do. And these are absolutely, actually one of my first stones. This is called Malachite,
Oh,
and
I've
it
heard
is
of that.
dark green and light green.
Hmm.
And it works, or it grows in the botryoidal clusters. It does rarely go into crystals. It rarely does form crystals, but they're they're typically dark green and light green. And please go to my green stones article on why you need to be careful about green stones. But this is it's the sign is Capricorn. They come in all different kinds of shapes and very I love
Pretty.
it's very decorative, and a lot of people can make jewelry. I've seen jewelry boxes made out of this stone.
Oh, that would be pretty.
Yeah. Um, it is with the element fire. It instills leadership, confidence, protection, and it's good for healing the heart. It has a Mohs hardness of a 3.5 to a 4, and this is a broken piece, and so that's what it looks like on the inside. It looks like it really looks like plastic. It's really kind of a weird stone, but yeah,
Hmm, interesting.
that's what the
So
inside of it would break off. It's pretty plain on the outside.
I was going to say, with 3.5 to 4 Mohs hardness, that's quite easily broken, is it?
It is. It is.
Hmm,
And
interesting.
there's a big deposit in Russia. In fact, they have some of their castle walls
Oh,
um
really?
paneled with this stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
It is very pretty.
very
Um,
nice. It is pretty,
let's
isn't it?
see what else. Yeah, it's in Australia, Chile, Africa, South Africa, US, and Russia. Um, and it works on the third chakra and the fourth chakra. So that's the heart chakra. So this does do a lot of this was my one of my first stones on pain, and it works on the physical pain as well as emotional pain. So this is that's why
Oh,
it makes it a good heart stone.
nice.
So yeah, called malachite,
Very nice.
and it stops inflammation
Hmm. And you
as well.
mentioned that people should go see your article on the
On
green
green
stones,
stones, on
40, what is
why
it, 40 shades of
you should
green?
be careful.
Or is it 50? I
Yeah,
think it's 40, isn't
40, like the song 40 Shades of Green.
it?
If you're
um,
Irish.
yeah, I was thinking more 50 Shades of Grey, but there you go. Um,
Yeah,
what was I going to say? Oh, will you be writing an individual article for this one though?
I will be writing an individual article. I've already got the picture. That's my hardest thing is photographing them,
Mhm.
where it's an interesting photo. So yeah, and that's already done because I took that a couple of years ago when I got these stones. So because they were pretty.
Yeah, they are pretty. I'm really curious to see this like Russian palace with the walls
That
done in
would
it.
be cool.
That would be really pretty. We'll have to see if we can find that too. And we'll put a link to that in this description as well. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So shall we
There's
have a look at the
aspects.
aspects? Yeah. So that's the new moon. We don't have a real lot of aspects between this and the full moon in Cancer.
No.
And the first one is going to be the next day on the 24th, and that's going to be Mercury sextile Neptune. So that'll be nice. Mercury, thinking, communications, learning. Neptune is, it can be inspired and spiritual. It's can be a little bit murky sometimes, but this is a sextile. So I think this is more, might be a little bit prone to daydreaming, maybe quite idealistic too, because Neptune can be idealistic and even altruistic or self-sacrificing. So you might be, particularly this time of year, you know, thinking of others perhaps, which would be a very nice thing to be doing. Yeah, this is nice. Probably not good for, you know, if you've got to do some really detailed work, because that Neptune can kind of blur with things. But I think this is quite nice.
I like this aspect. I think of theater. When I see Mercury and Neptune together, I think theater. I think singing, dancing,
Okay.
you know, that expression of our thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, Neptune, I think, is associated with the silver screen. So, like movies, all that sort of thing, photography. Yeah, I could see how that could work.
Yeah,
Interpretive
especially,
dance.
you know, with Neptune still in Pisces.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Nice. And then the next one
Then on the
is Venus sextile Neptune.
And Venus gets to dance with Neptune, and that's the same thing with Venus, and you know she is, you know, about that, you know, the beauty, the arts, I mean she brings those, and you slapping, you know, Neptune up there is just going to enhance that.
Mm, mm. This is on the 28th, so it's kind of a couple of days after Christmas. It's coming up to the new year. Yeah, this is nice. This could be a new romance. This could be a current romance feeling a little bit more storybook like. It's nice. Or, you know, it doesn't have to be about romance. It could be art, beauty. Maybe you see an exhibit and you're extremely moved by it, or something similar. It's just very, very nice.
A Venus Neptune is great time to chat with friends and,
Mhm.
you know, do
I
those
get a very
social.
relaxed vibe with this. You know, like this isn't kind of like running around and like, oh my God, having fun and that. This is like chill and yeah, just
Mhm.
nice.
So the next aspect is going to be, oh, Mercury is going retrograde, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep. So we've been talking about this since we started this video, because this is the shadow period where we first started. And Mercury will be stationing. So it's going to leave like an imprint right here, so that when we come back to it, we'll go, oh yeah, that's what we were doing back then, and this is what we're repeating, and
Yeah.
that's why it's those stations are so hard. I mean, they're not hard, but they're impactful because they're on 1 degree for a lot longer than they normally are.
Yeah, how I often describe it to people that aren't into astrology or aren't, you know, astrologers is like, you know, if you've got cars going up and down your street, you know, yes, you might notice them and that, and like if they crash into you, of course you're going to notice them. But if you've got a car parked across the road for a day or two, you're going to be like, what is that car doing over there? You know, you notice it more, and it's like that when a planet is stationary, it appears to have stopped, appears to just be sitting there, and it's sitting on that 1 degree. So if you've got planets at 24 Capricorn or Cancer, Libra, or Aries, you know, depending on what house they are, it might be quite significant, and matters to do with that house topic might be, yeah, just need going over, you know, expect mix-ups, snafus, having to redo things. And it might not be you, it might be somebody else dropped the ball. You know, you've got to go back to the bank to sign something because, you know, they didn't give you all the paperwork to sign or whatever and with this so close to New Year, you know, make sure, we're meeting where for the party, whose house is it? What place are we going to? Who's driving? Are we catching a cab or an Uber or all those sorts of things? Just make sure you've got the details correct, because it's very easy to assume.
Exactly. Good idea. Good advice.
Nice that it's with Venus at the time, but could be a bit. Yeah, we'll get to that. That'll be the next one. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go right into that. Mercury conjunct Venus.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a very talkative aspect right there.
Social. Yeah, with Mercury stationed, I don't know, I kind of get the impression this could be like a bit of flirting that kind of gets misinterpreted, perhaps. Perhaps somebody's just really friendly or really drunk, or, maybe it was. I just think it would be very easy to misinterpret signals at this time with Mercury stationary.
Stationing. Right, because anything could happen, especially with they're very still in close aspect with Neptune, and Neptune is, I don't really see those boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, it is a sextile, so hopefully it shouldn't be too negative. But I mean, we've discussed in the past that with the outers, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, sometimes even a sextile or a trine to one of the other planets can be quite difficult, because it just allows that planet, the outer planet, to kind of exert its whatever it wants to, its qualities on the other planet easier. So Neptune can be associated with deception. So, maybe somebody is trying to kind of pull the wool over your eyes. But, I see this as more like, maybe it's a bit of flirting and you think, oh, this is going to go somewhere, and then it doesn't, perhaps. Maybe in the cold light of day, they're kind of like, yeah, that was fun, but.
This is the social time of year.
Time
to test those waters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm noticing all the planets are in between Mars and the sun.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that Venus and Mercury, like you said, they're still a couple of degrees away, so they're still kind of connected to that Neptune. It's really easy to kind of project what you want onto that, and with Neptune, sometimes it's just like, what am I not seeing here? So it could be fun, but like maybe try to not. I was going to say, try not to get too intense about it, but look what's with Mercury and Venus. Pluto.
Intense Pluto is
the
right
lord
there.
of the underworld. So yeah, Pluto's just a little bit intense. Yeah. And I mean, it's at 27 degrees, Venus and Mercury at 24. So they're within 3 degrees. That's well within, striking distance. So yeah. It could be fun, but yeah, maybe don't go pinning.
Try to keep it light. Don't take things too personally. And then we have Venus conjunct Pluto.
Yeah.
And this is an aspect where power struggles have come up before. This is the Persephone Hades theme. Let's see, what else can I talk about this? Hades had taken Persephone down. I think that's what created our winter, according to legend.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, and it's odd that they're both meeting up here in Capricorn.
Yeah, interesting.
Where our winter had started. So, but yeah, that's a little that could be a hard transit for a lot of people, especially if you have any planets that are aspecting that degree of 27 degrees or within 27, so 28, 29 to 20, 26, 26 to 29 of Capricorn. Of Capricorn, and then all the cardinal signs. So Libra, Cancer, Aries. So if you do have planets at those aspects. Be careful about who you trust. Be careful about where you are. It's not a time to let down your guard.
Yeah, hopefully for some it will be just a really nice, intense kind of connection, uh, or maybe being extremely moved by art or something similar. But like Donna said, if you've got planets there, it's going to hit you a lot more significantly than it is somebody who has nothing in those general areas of their natal chart. So yeah, intensity can bring in jealousy, obsession.
It's definitely one of those aspects, everybody needs to keep their eye on.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get into an Uber alone. Not that there's anything wrong with Ubers, but just you don't want to be alone anywhere. Stay with friends. Would be
That's good advice in general too, but yeah.
Especially on that day. If you're being dropped off somewhere, make sure you know that there's people there.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Do you explain what the Persephone story was? Like that she was abducted?
I think we had oh gosh, I've heard the story, but I'm not so sure I'm a great storyteller of it. I know Becca Tarnas had retold the story. So did Shu Yap, I think.
Yeah.
And it was where Hades came up and took Persephone, and she went down into the underworld, and Demeter was her mother and was very sad, and she didn't let anything grow up above the earth, and that's what that's why everything, the leaves kind of die back, and that kind of thing, and no food was growing, and I think it was the gods all got together and said, you have to change, and Hades said no, she's already eaten something down below here, and so she had to stay. But Hades gives her 6 months above the earth in order to appease the population, but she has to go back down. She has to continually go back down every 6 months for 6 months. Yeah.
And I think
so it's a hard sacrificial kind of a power struggle, kind of that sacrifice kind of energy.
Yeah, I know throughout this year you've kind of referred to
Brutality.
this with the Roe v. Wade and that. It'd be interesting. I mean, this is only the 2nd of January. I can't imagine any legislation or anything big regarding that happening. But
No, because I think for sure the justices are on vacation. I would think, but
interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, just when you were saying about
So,
being careful about getting into an Uber, by yourself, and it was like that whole abduction thing that you were kind of referencing.
yeah, that's kind of what I was doing, is that abduction. But I didn't want to. I certainly don't want to focus in on any particular
Yeah.
name brand. But it's what I was meaning to say is
Yeah.
don't be alone. Don't be alone for with people that you don't know. Don't be dropped off in those dark corners, and to walk up to a friend's house. It's like, make sure that you are you're going from one place, and you know people who you're traveling with, that you're being dropped off at, that whole security thing. I'm a Taurus ascendant, so security is my main concern.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's not a bad thing.
Who's in my pasture? Stomp, stomp, stomp. Moving on.
Moving on.
January 2nd, we have Mercury sextile Neptune.
Ooh,
And we had this earlier, but this is coming back because of the retrograde. So it's a retrograde Mercury sextiling the Neptune. So
yeah.
this could be not acting in the manner that Mercury normally acts, which is it's the trickster planet. So
Mhm.
uh it's going to even be more trickstery-ish. That
Yeah.
isn't a word, but
Why not? Why not?
yeah, it's that same kind of thing though. You could have a lot of arts and in dance, and you might be revisiting that one show because you saw it, so it was so good.
Mm,
If it's still
yeah, yeah.
playing. So yeah.
Well, what date was the first pass of this? The
The
24th.
first one
So,
was 12/24, yeah.
yeah. So maybe
Christmas
something
Day
that happened,
or Christmas
the
Eve.
24th might need to be revisited at this time. And, you need to redo something regarding that topic or event. Could be perhaps good for editing or redoing, like you said, artwork, creative writing, something similar to that as well. And wherever
Yeah.
Capricorn is in your natal chart, that's the kind of area, people and topics associated with that natal house will be what's likely to be kind of, experiencing some problems. So, and some Mercury retrogrades, you don't have any issues, or you don't seem to have any issues. Others, you just seem to be like every other day, it's some sort of mix up drama. So, yeah. But this could be really nice for
Yeah.
creative writing, going back and editing anything with a reword, redo, revisit, re edit, review. I think I said that. um,
Retest.
retest. Yeah. Yeah. Retake. Yeah.
Hmm.
Rewords are very good for that. But yeah, you might need to go
Yep,
back and revisit.
for
Mm,
sure. And then the next aspect is Venus jumps into Aquarius.
yeah.
So she's moving from one Saturn house to another Saturn house,
Hmm. Yeah.
but at least she will escape the house of Pluto.
Hmm. She will.
And
Yeah.
she'll jump into a house where there's a malefic.
Yeah, but at least this malefic is the ruler. So Saturn feels
Yeah,
some sort of obligation to look after her to a certain extent because she's in his sign
sure.
and he's right there in the same house. It's like she's gone to visit Saturn and his house and he's there. So, he can look after her. So,
Yeah. He can help her, do those formidable, you know,
mm,
those, like write the song down, like make sure you're doing, the good work, the foundation of that um project.
yeah. With Saturn ruling Aquarius, like in Capricorn, like Saturn is about boundaries and limitations and that because Saturn used to be the furthest planet. That was the end of the universe as far as they were concerned back in ancient times. And that was the furthest out of the planets that they could see with the naked eye. And in Capricorn, that's like the boundaries and that. Whereas with Aquarius, it's kind of like beyond those boundaries and that. So you kind of get Aquarius has that reputation of being avant-garde and unusual and different and kind of a little bit out there sometimes, or
Independent and revolutionary.
yeah, and also kind of ahead of their time. I wouldn't say hipster, maybe, but there's that quality of kind of, they're onto this new kind of cool thing before anybody else even knows about it, sort of thing. So this could be kind of a good time for exploring new things to do with art, beauty. You might be attracted to somebody who's a little bit different to your usual type at this time, perhaps, because, Venus is also values, relationships, affections. Wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart, you might have some good luck because Venus is a benefic, might actually help sweeten having that Saturn there, but Saturn is a malefic. It is in its own sign though, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's a lot worse when it's not in its own sign. But yeah, some good luck, and maybe whatever house Aquarius is in your natal chart, you know, might be nice to have some good luck there or some benefit. So yeah.
Absolutely. Sounds nice. And
Ah.
then the next aspect we have is Venus sextiles Jupiter. And those are the benefic planets.
Mhm.
So you have to expect good things that day. You just have to.
Yeah.
We have the moon, the moon is out of bounds and Mars. So Venus and Jupiter are, Jupiter is run by Mars, who
Mhm.
is out of bounds and retrograde right now. So the direction or the help is a little unstable, but Venus should have a little bit more stable help.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a good time for socializing, generosity of spirit. It's nice mixing with others, enjoying yourself, feeling benevolent. I think this can be very nice. Jupiter is in Aries, so a fire sign. Venus is in Aquarius, so an air sign. So these are young, active signs. And well, maybe Aquarius isn't young, but it is active. So yeah, they're both active signs. Yeah, this could be fun. You know, go out socializing. With Jupiter wanting to expand, this could be, you know, social gatherings. Perhaps start out, you think, oh, okay, I'll have 4 friends over, and then suddenly it's 10, or, you know, you're going to go out for dinner and then you end up, you know, going into town and, I don't know, doing some nightclubs or something or whatever, you know, but not necessarily in an excessive way. This is a sextile, but maybe it's just, you know, you thought, oh, this is going to be fun, but, you know, it's better than it exceeds your expectations, perhaps, which would be nice.
I like that. Exceeds your expectations. That's a good Jupiter to Venus, I think. I like that for
Mhm.
sure. And then the next up aspect is the sun trining Uranus.
Mhm.
And this is gonna highlight those things that are coming into our lives that are a little bit shocking.
I'm hoping that this is going to be positive. I think this is changing things up a bit, you know, maybe change your routine a bit, whether that means, you know, coloring your hair purple or just taking a different route to work that morning. I don't know, but this is kind of like maybe you decide to turn over a new leaf regarding something, or, you know, you've always been interested in this topic, so maybe you kind of start exploring it. It's
Yeah.
just
It's
something
a
a little bit
trine, so
new.
it's gonna be an easy aspect. It's gonna flow really nicely. There won't be a lot of barriers to stop this newness or revolutionary or new topic in
Yeah.
your life. Yeah.
And I mean, you know, all these aspects that we go through, we're just giving general overviews because it will depend on, you know, where they're falling in your chart and, you know, whether they're making any contacts to your natal planets. But for example, this one for Aries ascendants, the sun will be in the 10th house of career and public reputation. Uranus will be in the second house of finances, income, and resources. So, you know, maybe you there's a bonus, or there's some sort of, you know, you got some resource that you weren't expecting, or, you know, revolutionizes how you're able to work or, you know, carry out whatever you do in a public way. So yeah, but this hopefully should be helpful. Uranus can be shocking, surprising. So some people don't like surprise and shocks, but yeah, freedom too. Uranus is often associated with freedom. So yeah, hopefully this is good. Maybe you kind of decide, you know what, I always do this and I hate it. I don't like it. And you discover, you know, it's not the end of the world if I don't do this anymore.
I like that they're both in earth signs. It'd
Very
be nice if there
tangible.
was
Mm, mm. Yeah, the sun is in a cardinal sign, so it can actually do something, and it's the quicker moving one. And Uranus in Taurus, so it's a bit more fixed.
yeah.
That sun moving up closer to that retrograde Mercury too.
Yeah. And then so the next aspect that we have coming up is the full moon. So and that brings us to January 6th. That gets us through the new year, the holiday, and
Hmm. Yeah, so that will be at 16 degrees of Cancer. So the moon will be in its own sign, so that's good.
Yeah, I think that there's these aspects at the and for thousands of years, the aspects that are heading at the luminations, at the full moon, at the new moon,
Mhm.
when those are hitting, I think they're very um they're trying to tell us something. They're trying to say, hey, look at me. This is something that needs to be,
Mm.
highlighted.
Yeah, well, this is the full moon, so they do tend to be about harvest or culmination or high points. Sometimes they're to do with endings, big bright light shining on it because, the moon's full of light. With Mercury retrograde opposite the full moon, yeah, maybe some missteps there. Yeah, if you've got a big event coming up, double check everything. And that's all you can do. I
At
mean,
least through January.
yeah, yeah. So, but that'll be interesting. I see that Uranus will be sextiling that full moon. Oh, yeah, sextiling that full moon. So, yeah, could be some surprise elements. So, being able to adapt would be handy, but that's more of a mutable sign thing. We are dealing with cardinal here, but cardinals are pretty quick off the mark, so they just kind of lack a little bit of staying power sometimes. But yeah, it could be some surprises with this full moon and snafus perhaps. So check, double check, triple check if you've got a big event coming up around about that time. And so, Donna, where can people contact you and what services are you offering?
People can contact me at donnabastrology.com. That will have my Gmail address, which is donnabarconsulting@gmail. Um, and I do natal readings, I do electional readings, horary readings, and as well, I work with stones. So
Mhm.
I work with balancing people's chakras. Um, I think that is a benefit to your health to keep all of your chakras in spinning in unison, which is the goal.
Mhm.
I think that maintains your health a little bit better. And Lynda, where can people get a hold of you and what are you doing?
I'm at Scullywag Astrology. That's astrology.scullywag.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest. So yeah, I'm offering natal readings, relationship readings, and year ahead readings. So yeah.
Very nice.
Mm.
Very nice. And want to wish Merry Christmas to all those people who are listening who celebrate that. Happy holidays to all those other people who I'm good. There's a ton of celebrations that are going on this time of year.
Yeah.
So happy holidays to everybody. Thanks very much for listening. We appreciate your likes, your subscribes, your shares, and they really help us get our channel out a lot better. And look forward to seeing everybody in the new year.
Yes. Yes. Happy holidays
Thank you.
and a safe and prosperous new year for everybody. Thank you. Bye bye.